Hi, my name is John. I'm currently an exchange student near Alicante, Spain, and I'm keeping a blog to post photos, talk about my experiences, and keep the people back in the United States up to date on the things that I'm doing. And this week I thought it would be interesting to do a little video where I talk about my experience and some of the things that have happened to me so far. The first thing I'd like to talk about is why I'm in Spain. Last year I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of kids from around the world who were exchange students in my school in the United States. I had a basic understanding of Spanish, and so I decided that it would be really interesting to come to Spain, do 9 months here, live with a host family, go to a Spanish high school, and share my culture with people in Spain, and also fully immerse myself in the Spanish culture. So I'm doing my senior year of high school here, and so far it's been really interesting. At the beginning, there was a huge language barrier. My host family doesn't speak English, and although I had had 4 years of Spanish, it was still kind of a shock when I got here, and there were a lot of things that I didn't understand. For example, one thing, the accent is completely different from anything that I'd expected. The first week of school, people would say things to me and just the words wouldn't register at all. Another thing that hit me about the language when I first got here was the pronunciation of cognates, which are words that have similar etymological origins. For example, the English word education, and in the Spanish word educación. So even though they're written almost exactly the same, I think that anyone who can read would have no problem seeing that educación is education. When you're listening to it, in rapid speech, it can sometimes go over your head. And so the first week, there were a lot of words that when reading, I recognized no problem. But then speaking, I had some problems understanding what they were. Luckily, after a week and a half or 2 weeks, the immersion started to kick in, and I started to understand everything. Now, I consider myself proficient. I can mail packages, I can go out into town, and I've even gotten to the point where I can express myself in Spanish similarly to how I would do it in English, which is great because it means I can go out and meet people, make friends, go hang out with people. So it's really just made the experience a whole lot better that I not only had the basic Spanish when I got here, but that I've improved to the point where I'm completely comfortable speaking in Spanish. Some other things that were kind of a shock when I first got here, obviously it's a different culture as well. So one of the things that hit me was how people eat here. So in the United States, we have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's kind of typical that we have a bigger breakfast, some pancakes, some bacon, orange juice, cereal. Here, it's a glass of milk. The first week, I was so confused because I would get up, I would pour myself a bowl of cereal, make myself a cup of coffee, like that, and then my host sisters would come in and just a glass of milk. That was it. That took me a while to get used to. I'm still doing the big breakfast thing, but they're doing the Spanish deal. The second thing is that the Spanish have more meals. We have breakfast and lunch, and in the same time period, the Spanish do breakfast and then lunch at school, which is a sandwich around 11 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, when people come home from school, they do a bigger lunch, which is about the same size as a dinner in the United States. Around 6 o'clock, you have a little snack called the merienda, a slice of toast with some jam, a muffin, whatever, something like that, and then the dinner, which is bigger. Some of the other differences are not necessarily the language itself, but how the language is used. In the United States, we're almost more formal with our language. We say things like, may I use the restroom? And in Spain, you'd say, I have to pee. And also, profanity in Spanish doesn't have the same negative connotation as it does in English. In English, if there's the F word in a TV show, it's kind of shocking almost. In Spain, the translation of the F word isn't nearly as strong or as offensive as it would be in English. So for example, a teacher can be talking and say what the translation of the F word is, and it doesn't really faze anyone, I guess. So it's not even really considered as much profanity. The other thing is that the Spanish are very creative with their profanity. For example, me cago en da 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 blank blank blank. Me cago en means I poop on whatever. You can kind of insert whatever you want there. A common one, me cago en la leche, which is I poop in the milk. People actually say that. So the first week when I was here, I understood what all the words meant, but I didn't understand what the phrase meant. So I would hear something like that and just kind of be taken aback and confused until I realized, some of these Spanish ways of expressing displeasure or profanity. The other thing is how the Spanish use electricity and how they use water. You don't normally turn on the light until it's completely dark. We go the whole day, just use the natural light from the windows, which is atypical in the United States. We have a bad habit of leaving lights on. Also, the water costs more, so when we shower, we do the thing which is like shower, 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 stop, scrub, 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 rinse, 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 stop, scrub, 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 scrub. Which is different from the United States. In my house in the United States, I'm kind of used to a 30-minute boiling hot shower, sit there and relax. Soccer here also has a lot of influence, and there are a lot of soccer players who have this hairstyle which is kind of shaved on the sides and then gelled up and off to the side and a spike on the top. So the first week of school, I thought that my high school was full of Dragon Ball Z characters. As you can see, I've kept my American hairstyle, but it was kind of weird to see that in the beginning, and it took some getting used to. Another thing is how the Spanish perceive the weather. They're kind of afraid of the cold, afraid of the wind, and so me being from the Pacific Northwest, I'm comfortable 40 degrees, shorts and a sweatshirt, and that's fine for me. In Spain, it's kind of like, it's 65 today, bundle up! So that was pretty funny when I first got here. Also, American brands are a lot more expensive in Spain than they are in the US. For example, Vans shoes in the US cost around $30. Here in Spain, your typical Vans can cost around 70 euros, which for those of you who don't know how to do the exchange rate would be $93, which is just ridiculous in the United States. Overall, being here has not only improved my Spanish exponentially. I mean, I'm pretty much fluent in the language, but it's also changed how I perceive American culture and international culture. Putting myself in a situation where I had to adapt rapidly, try to fit in, but at the same time maintain my own cultural identity, really helped me understand the Spanish culture better, and in turn understand all other cultures better. The second thing that it did was it helped me to appreciate American culture more, which was something that I didn't anticipate when I came here. But after going to Spanish school, I've really gained an appreciation for the United States school system. After speaking in Spanish for 4 months, I've really gained an appreciation for the English language. So not only have I grown as far as my acceptance of international cultures, but also in the acceptance of my own culture, which I feel has been very influential on who I am as a person and how I perceive my own country. In Spain, some things that I've been working on recently have been starting to study French. I have a notebook where I'm doing kind of an independent study. I have books and audio tapes that I'm listening to. I have a very, very basic level right now, but I feel like it would be amazing to be able to speak 3 languages, and I already have 2, and French, after studying Spanish and then speaking English all my life, it's very easy to see the connections between the words and the grammar. So I'm actually learning it a lot faster than I expected, so that's great. I also started a little experiment to track my spending. I thought it would be interesting to see where my money is going. So what I'm doing is I'm carrying around a little sheet of paper, writing down all my purchases that I make, and then at home on my computer I have a spreadsheet where I'm tracking it all, keeping a total, and then converting it into US dollars. Not only will it help me to get an idea of the euro amount that I'm spending, but it'll also convert it to dollars so I can see in terms of my own currency how much I'm spending, which is something that I've been vaguely aware of, but I haven't actually had a concrete number to look at. After a month, it'll be really interesting to see, where my money is going. I also started reading The Life of Pi in Spanish, which is really fun because it's the first time that I've been able to read a book in Spanish and actually picture the story in my head. My Spanish level has gotten to the point where I can read the book, think in Spanish, not have to translate anything, and after reading a paragraph, I don't even think about having read a paragraph because instead of reading every word and translating, I'm just reading and imagining what's happening in my head, which is really exciting because it means that 1, my Spanish level has improved dramatically, and 2, I can actually enjoy reading a book in Spanish. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video about my life in Spain. If you have any questions at all, feel free to contact me or to leave a message on the blog. Link is down below. So if you click on that, you can not only see this video in the blog, but you can also see some of the pictures that I've taken. I went to Madrid, I went to Italy, I've been in Barcelona, so I have tons of cool pictures. I've written some more things about my life so far, so you can keep track of that. I've had a couple of high schoolers contact me who were interested in doing a similar exchange program and had some questions. So if you feel like that's something you'd like to do, feel free by all means to send me a message, and I'd be happy to give you any information you'd like about the kind of things that I had to do to get here, the program that I'm with, those kind of things. Anyways, thanks to everyone for all the support. I'm having a great time here, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thanks.